Hello everyone, I'm Coach Zetta. Welcome to my wellness channel for diabetes, wellness, and weight loss. I am a lifestyle, diabetes, wellness, and weight loss coach. I'm also a type 2 diabetic myself. After losing a very close cousin to complications of diabetes and obesity, I decided to become a certified diabetic wellness advocate and weight management specialist, so that I could educate myself as well as help others regarding these particular diseases. My mission is to offer education and support to others who may also be dealing with these same health-related issues as I am. Now, in this first segment, entitled Diabetes 101, I will cover diabetes and glucose facts, just to give you a better understanding of diabetes. Now, over the coming months, some of the topics that we will cover here include diabetes and weight loss management, nutrition, food labels, healthy eating habits, and ways to lose weight and keep it off for life, which is most important. 90 to 95% of people who lose weight usually regain it within 5 years or less. So my goal is to help you to learn mechanisms of keeping that weight off for life. Remember, this channel is for educational and practical purposes only. You should always consult with your medical doctor or medical practitioner before beginning any type of health or wellness journey. I also recommend that everyone should get a physical examination from their medical doctor or provider at least once a year or more if advised to do so. I invite each of you to join me as I embark upon my own fitness journey to reach my goal weight within 1 year and to manage my type 2 diabetes. We can do this if we all pull together as a team, because we are better together. Now, personal and individual coaching is available by telephone, by Skype, or through Facebook Messenger for a nominal fee. You may contact me via my email in the description box below. Please support this channel by clicking the links in the description box and by visiting and patronizing my online shops. I do highly recommend trying the Espera by Avon wellness products that are listed in the description box. This is a new line of natural vitamins and supplements which will aid you in reaching your wellness and weight loss goals. And these are the products that I use in my journey. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel. Also, please share this channel with your family members and friends who you feel may also be able to benefit from the information that we will be covering here on this channel. So, now that we've covered the basics, let's go ahead and get started. What is diabetes? Now, in a nutshell, diabetes is a disorder in which the body does not make or does not correctly use insulin. What is insulin? Insulin is a hormone. Your body needs insulin to help turn the food you eat into the energy and energy reserves that your body needs to function properly. When your insulin is out of balance, your whole body will be out of balance. It sounds pretty simple. Well, not everyone with diabetes has the same type of problem using insulin. Some people don't make any insulin at all, or other people make too little insulin or don't use the insulin efficiently. This is why diabetes is broken down into different types. The most common form being type 1 and type 2 diabetes. Some women also may get diabetes when they become pregnant. Now, this is called gestational diabetes. Now, most cases of diabetes fall within 3 types. We will explain them more in details in later chapters. There are some other types of diabetes which can be caused by genetic defects. Diseases such as cystic fibrosis, organ transplants, or AIDS treatments. Other people do not fit into the categories of type 1 or type 2. In fact, there are more than 10 different forms of diabetes, believe it or not. Now, some people are walking around with undiagnosed diabetes. We're talking millions. Nearly 26 million people have diabetes just in the United States alone. Now, yet there are only 18.8 million diagnosed cases of diabetes. Now, this means that nearly 1/4 of the people with diabetes do not even know they have diabetes. How could all these people go undiagnosed? Well, unlike many diseases, diabetes does not always have obvious symptoms in the beginning. Over 7 million people have diabetes, but they don't know it. They are walking around with signs and perhaps mild symptoms of this disease, but they have not been to a healthcare provider for proper tests and diagnosis, because few even realize that anything is wrong. Now, most undiagnosed people usually have type 2 diabetes. Now, in contrast, few cases of type 1 diabetes goes undetected for long. As you'll see in later chapters, the symptoms of type 1 diabetes are so severe, the person will have to go to a doctor for help pretty soon. Now, there's been a national epidemic of diabetes in recent years. More and more people are getting diabetes, especially type 2. Unfortunately, this is absolutely the case. The number of people with diabetes in the United States alone increased by 3 million over the past 2 years. Now, children are even increasingly getting type 1 and type 2 diabetes. Certain ethnic groups are also seeing an increase in diabetes. For example, Native Americans have the highest rate of diabetes at 16.1%, followed by African Americans at 12.6%, and then Hispanics at 11.8%. In contrast, Asians only have 8.4% are diagnosed with diabetes, and just 7.1% of white people have diabetes in the United States. Now, this is a global epidemic. The rise of diabetes is happening beyond our borders even, all around the world. Over 285 million people worldwide have diabetes, and more than 430 million more people will have diabetes by the year 2030. Diabetes deaths are likely to double between 2005 and 2030, according to the World Health Organization. So yes, this is something to be taken very seriously, which is one of the main reasons why I've decided to dedicate this channel to diabetes awareness and weight management. Now, what is glucose? Glucose is a simple sugar in your blood and your body's main source of energy or fuel. It's called blood glucose, or sometimes people call it blood sugar. It comes primarily from carbohydrates in many of the foods that we eat, including sugary treats like cupcakes, and starchy things like starchy vegetables, and grains like breakfast cereals. Yes, believe it or not, even breakfast cereals often will have high dosages of carbohydrates, which convert into sugar into your bloodstream. Now, the purpose of glucose is to provide energy, and the key to providing energy is eating food. But when people eat certain types of foods, their bodies break them down into simple sugar called glucose. Glucose goes into the bloodstream and it travels in all the cells in the body. These cells use glucose for energy to do big and small jobs that keep the body running smoothly. Now, the pancreas Oh yeah, let's talk about the pancreas. The pancreas is an organ that does not get much attention unless it stops functioning properly and doing its job. It is a very important player in your digestive system, and it sits right behind your stomach, next to the kidneys and around the liver area. The pancreas secretes many hormones, including two very important hormones for regulating glucose, insulin and glucagon. Now these hormones are made by cells in the pancreas known as islets. Insulin is a special key to make sure glucose effectively gets to your cells. Insulin also prevents the liver from making too much glucose when you are not eating. The pancreas needs to produce the right amount of insulin to move glucose from the bloodstream to cells. It releases insulin in response to rising blood glucose levels during snacks and meals. It also releases a small steady stream of insulin throughout the day. This keeps your liver from making too much glucose between meals and overnight. Now, people with diabetes do not produce enough or don't produce any insulin, or their bodies do not use insulin effectively. Now, this results in a buildup of too much glucose in the blood. In all types of diabetes, glucose does not get into the cells that need it, and it builds up in the bloodstream. In addition, cells do not have the energy they need to do their work. Now, this buildup of glucose in your blood can have various effects depending on the severity. For one thing, your body may try to flush out excess glucose by filtering it through your kidneys and expelling it from the body in the form of urine. Therefore, people with high levels of glucose in their blood may urinate frequently and become real thirsty because of this dehydration. Now, some early symptoms of diabetes include extreme thirst, a frequent need to urinate, blurred vision, a feeling of being tired most of the time for no apparent reason. Remember, some people do not have any symptoms of high blood glucose. The signs of the diabetes can be so mild. Many people walk around for years with dangerously high glucose levels, which can ultimately lead to long-term damage. In fact, many people don't realize they even have diabetes until they begin to suffer from complications of this disease. Now, only a healthcare provider can make an accurate diagnosis of diabetes. A trip to your doctor is the next logical step if you or someone you know has symptoms of diabetes. You may run a risk of developing diabetes, so it's good to always get that checked out. And there's a test called the A1C test that the healthcare provider can use to determine if you have diabetes. Blood is collected from a finger stick or from your vein. Now, an A1C level of 6.5% or higher is used to diagnose diabetes. Now, in diabetics, extra glucose remains in the blood even after fasting because your pancreas cannot produce enough insulin to manage that extra glucose. So now, if tests reveal that you have diabetes and you're not pregnant, the next question is whether you have type 1 or type 2. Because as I said earlier, if you're pregnant, that's the third type of diabetes called gestational. Oftentimes it's just temporary until you lose weight after your pregnancy, and then your body will go back to normal mode. Some people never lose weight after having a baby, and they can continue to be type 2 diabetic, so be very mindful of that. Now, we're going to stop here at this point. I hope that so far it kind of gives you an overview of what exactly diabetes is. Okay, next week we're going to cover the types of diabetes. We're going to go into more detail about type 1 and type 2 diabetes. Please feel free to invite your friends and family members to my channel. Please remember again to like and subscribe. And even you can ring the notification bell at the top right hand corner of the screen. So every time I post a new video, you'll be alerted. Again, take care of yourself. We can do this and be healthy together. And I'll see you next week. I'll try to post videos every week, possibly on Sunday. And by the way, today is Easter Sunday 2019, so happy Easter to you and your family. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.